everybody, and welcome to Wine Library TV. I am your host, Gary Vaynerchuk, and this is The Thunder Show. So today we're going to do 3 wines, but you see 4 wines, and I'll get into that 4th wine in a minute. But these are 3 wines that I've promised away once again to taste, and so we've got them here, including 1 wine from Côte de Ventoux. You know, the whole Southwest France, Rhône, Languedoc, Provence. All those areas have been rocking lately on The Thunder Show, and I actually got 2 separate emails from very serious wine drinkers in Europe about this wine a couple of weeks ago when we first started getting on a rhythm with these wines, saying that you have to have this wine. So it comes with huge accolades. I'm just dying to try it. Did some work to get it in here, so excited about that. We've got a big time scored Parker Spanish wine at 12 bones, and we've got a kosher wine. We've got Hanukkah coming up early this year, and one that a lot of people have been asking me to taste. And then we've got a $500 bottle of Italian wine sitting over here that may end up being yours, not even for me. Before we get into the tasting, which I'm super excited about, just want to give everybody a huge shout out to all the Vayniacs that met me at Crushpad on Saturday. It was an amazing time. We were working on tasting the 4 samples of the Vayniac Cab. Mott, if you don't know what the Vayniac Cab project is, Mott, I'm going to need you to link it up. And again, this is Mott. 8 different people asking me if my mother tapes me. Not Ma, Mott. M-O-T-T. Chris Mott, the man. Anyway, so we were tasting the Vayniac Cab over the weekend, the components, very young time, and it was such an amazing time. A lot of people brought a lot of wine and cheese, and we had a great time at Crushpad. I'm sure there's pictures in the forums and lots of things going on, but I want you to know what that's about. No better time than getting involved in the Vayniac Cab project than now. Please check out that link to know what I'm talking about. It is a community wine project. We're getting low, almost sold out already, getting to that place where it's starting to get to a dangerous level. And, what happened yesterday made me realize we need another party. Did not give enough time for everybody to get out this year. You know, just gave you maybe 3 or 4 weeks in December. I know that was tough. So, I am looking for a date in mid-March. I will try to get you that date ASAP. And hopefully we can get all the Vayniacs to travel. At that point, some of the components might be coming along even nicer. It is an amazing opportunity. It was just amazing to see everybody, you know, get together. And, you know, it was just a wonderful time. All the Vayniacs getting along and loving each other, tasting wine. And, you know, it was the best time. But what could have made it a little bit better if my good friend and huge Vayniac over at Apple, we like Apple. We have apples everywhere, Paul Papa George, who was unable to make it, but some of the wonderful people from Apple were. I felt like giving Paul a huge shout out today. You like that, right? That was a clever way to do it. Mike, you know what's crazy? There's pizza inside of it. You want to eat it? Let's eat it afterwards. All right, let's get into some vino. First and foremost, let's get into the Yarden 2003 Cabernet Sauvignon, 14.5% alcohol content, $21 US. And this is rated 92 points by Rogoff, who is, you know, clearly to me the Israeli wine critic. Rogoff has done some amazing stuff with promoting and reviewing and analyzing and breaking down Israeli and kosher wines, and he's just done an amazing job. I have an enormous amount of respect for him, and I'm excited about tasting this wine. 21 bones, 92 Rogoff. You know, a $22 Cabernet. And one thing about Wine Library TV, when you watch it, we're breaking down stereotypes. I don't want you to go in with preconceived notions. And this would be a classic. I mean, a $22 kosher wine, Cabernet, you know. So, you know, kosher wines, as we've seen in the past, some of them have done really well. Got an email the other day from that Goose Bay Sauvignon Blanc we did hundreds of episodes ago. Somebody saying that's their house wine, and they never would have drank kosher wines. Kosher wines are not just sugar, water, crap, Menashevitz stuff that everybody's scared of. There's a lot of serious stuff going on there, as well as non-kosher wines from Israel. Israel is a place that is really starting to show some major potential, and I am massively excited about taking a trip there next year to taste some wines. So let's get into this wine. Some really nice color, and you might notice the big-ass glass is in the house, Mott. A lot of people asking for the big-ass glass this holiday season. And this is not the Riedel Grand Cru Burgundy glass. Again, last time I asked this, somebody helped me, and again, I forgot. There's a little initials BV on it. Somebody sent me this glass. So that's the glass. It is not the Riedel Grand Cru Burgundy. Big misconception out there in Mannerland. So anyway, great color. Let's pour a little bit for all the Vayniacs that couldn't be with us on Saturday. But see how little? Because I really want to taste it. Let's give it a sniffy sniff. Some really nice Kirsch Royale kind of concept coming through on the nose. Some really beautiful chocolate. and dark cherries coming through as well in the nose. Nice nose, you know, polished, classic Cabernet. I'm getting a little hint of the oak monster coming through a little bit on the nose, but not too bad. Let's give it a whirl. Some really nice sour cherry flavors. Very polished Cabernet. Reminds me a whole lot of the Justin Cab that we did on a show not too long ago that a lot of people have enjoyed. Really vibrant fruit. I really get a nice, almost, I get a flavor of almost like raspberry jam with hazelnuts coming through, which is kind of interesting. Cedar box is something that comes through for me, and a little tiny hint of tobacco, almost like a tobacco box made from cedar. Just a couple of leaves of tobacco in there. Maybe you ate the box. You know, you're crazy like that. Anyway, very polished, little hint of alcohol coming through on the finish, but very subtle, well made. I gotta tell you, I'm not as high as what Rogoff is on this wine from a point standpoint, but we're probably in the same range. And what do points really mean? I mean, let's be honest. They're just numbers, and, you know, it's tough. You got to read into the tasting notes, and for us, the visual tasting notes. I'm going to go 89 plus on this, 90 points. It's right in there. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna go 89 plus points on this. It's a very solid Cabernet, probably right in between the Franciscan and the Justin we did not too long ago from California. $21 is very fair given the price points for Cabernet these days, and just a really solid start. I mean, didn't blow me away. Was hoping for a little bit more based on the Rogoff score, but it is what it is. Solid effort and nothing wrong with it. Solid cab. I like it. Castano, Solanera, 2004. From Yekla, excuse me. 65% Montestral, 20% Cabernet, and 15% Tintorera. 92 points. Robert Parker, $12 US, and this has probably been the most requested wine for me. Ooh, I forgot something too, Mont. That I have to grab. Excuse me 1 second. Let me see if I can get this rolling so much that it doesn't stop rolling by the time I come back. Is it still moving? It's still slightly moving. Mont, it's still slightly moving. Don't even lie, it's still slightly moving. All right, we have a question from the Ask application. People have been yelling at me saying that I would use the Ask question every day. I told Mott to remind me. He's no help whatsoever, just as a side note. Never reminds me about anything. But I will have a question in a second. And if you want your question on WLTV, there's a link right over here. I know if you're watching on iTunes, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But on WineLibraryTV.com, there's a link right over here, the Ask Gary app. Ask away, and maybe you'll be on the show. You get a $50,000 gift certificate along with it, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, Castano, Solanera, 2004. Nice blend again. Montestral, Cabernet and Tintorera. Really, really dark color. $12 US, 92 points. RP, brutal. By the way, Friday show, maybe some of you didn't see it. A lot of people questioning where did the 90-point Parker score come from on the Barroux from Spain. That came from Business Week. I had Ian link that up, so hopefully you saw that. Anyway, sniffy sniff time. I get a little bit of a hint of cranberry juice coming through. You agree? You see that? You feel that, Mott? I get a hint of cranberry juice. I also get a little bit of a hint of like some, you know, sweaty sock in the corner, a little dorm room action. And there's also like, you know those green peppers you get when you buy the Italian subs? Not jalapeno, but they look like all shriveled. You know, they're what are those? Mom?
Just like roasted peppers?
Yeah, like the roast, but the green ones. You know, like the pearlescent, but they're spicy. Anyway, you know the peppers you get with the Italian sub. Anyway, that, you know, when you open, there's a little juice that comes out. If you ever smell that, there's like a tad, like a little thimble action on that coming through as well, along with the cranberry jam. I'm going to go cranberry jam on it. And definitely a little sticky stink from the socks in the left corner of a dorm room. Let's give it a whirl. good mouthfeel. Attacks your palate quite nicely. Nice lushness, a little leather action on the mid palate. Some dryness coming through now. Drying as I'm speaking to you, which I like. Not too bad whatsoever. Kind of a sad finish, short. Kind of almost gone already. All I'm getting is the dry tannins at this point. It's a young wine, but not super young for this style. And it's, it is what it is. I mean, the fruit is kind of meh, very average in its approach. I mean, it's got some nice mouthfeel. It's a very basic wine, though, I have to say. Not blowing me away. Definitely not over-the-top fake, juicy fruit that you get in a lot of these higher-scored Parker Spanish wines that always make me get, sad. But definitely doesn't have the profound complexity or structure of a 92-point wine. I think Parker is way off, and much more off on this 92-pointer than Rogoff is on the last 92-pointer. I think this is a nice, solid 86, 87-point wine. Wouldn't kick it out of my wine closet. 12 bones. I think there's a lot of ways to probably get two $6 wines that match this up, especially from Portugal and other parts of Spain for that matter. I'm going to give it a pass with several Z's. I just don't feel like you need to spell 12 bones on this. And using the number 12, the great Joe Namath, makes me sad, but I'm going to have to give this wine a pass. I'm going to give it scored 86 points. I just think the wine falls apart towards the second half. It's like Platoon, the second part, So let's move on. Kind of a disappointing show so far. 2 92-pointers on paper. Disappointing. Before I get to the third wine, widget contest tomorrow, guys. Tomorrow is the last day. The widget link is right over here. I know. The widget link is right over here. I've got 500, 600, 700. I mean, there's a lot of entries. But what's going to happen is tomorrow's the last day, and on Wednesday, I will be drawing out of the spit bucket. I think we'll do it. That'll be fun. A name. Actually, 2 names. One, we're going to give away an iPhone, like I promised months and months ago. But the second name I pull, if you put a widget on your website. By the way, some of you have entered without having a widget on your website. You just put your website. Nice try. Pretty cool. Not going to work. Anyway, pulling it out. Pulling a name, whoever wins gets to be my co-host on WLTV, no matter where you live. I see Finland, I see Argentina, I see Panama. There's some cool people joining. Could be a very expensive plane ticket coming out of your pocket, Mott. So we will fly you in, put you up in New York for one night, get you over here, tape the show, get you home, get you out of here. But it'll be a great experience. We'll do a show based on your flavors or your tastes. It'll be a lot of fun. An opportunity to be my co-host on the Thunder Show by putting a widget on your blog. I love the hundreds of people who've created blogs just for it. It's very sneaky, very clever. Good job. Remember, tomorrow at midnight Eastern Time will be the cutoff before the drawing on Wednesday. So please get in on that. And now the wine that has single-handedly probably had the most build-up hype for me personally. Putting it on the show. I almost drank it this weekend. I would have never been on the show, but I'm like, well, if it's a home run, let the people know about it. Because I'm bad about letting people know otherwise when I'm drinking at home. I should work on that, right? That is what the cork board's for. I'm lazy. Oh, man. Saint Jean du Barroux, from Philippe Guimel, by the way. Saint Jean du Barroux, Les Oligocene, 2003, 65% Grenache, 15% Syrah, 10% Carignan, 10% Cinsault. And this is right on, the cusp of the mountains of Côte de Ventoux. This spends 24 months in oak and steel aging. So it's, 2003, but it's a release now, somewhat now. I mean, I think there is a 404 released already. Now, Côte de Ventoux is a very interesting place. Very, very interesting. Mont Ventoux, which is the mountain, is one of the most famous mountains in all of France. Big mountain, and Côte Ventoux is producing some of the most interesting wines, and this is very expensive. I mean, most of the Côte Ventoux wines that you have are like $6, $8, $10, so a very, very, very pricey wine. And Côte Ventoux, Mount Ventoux is like the separation between the Rhone and Provence, so it's a very interesting place where you can get a lot of value from, but they tend to be very, very good values. This is extremely expensive. Got 2 separate emails, one from a master somm in Europe and one from a top chef in Europe, both telling me separately, found out that they don't even know each other, telling me I need to try this wine. So on hype, I'm excited. Now, the reason this is on the show, and the reason, I'm excited about this is lately, my palate has been veering towards these wines from the Rhone, Southwest France. We've been hot on them. Some of the biggest scores on WLTB history have come lately from this region, and amazing values. Some of the $7, $8 wines have been flying out of here in the last 10 shows. People have just been loving them, getting a lot of love mail. I love the love mail. And so, this is very interesting. I'm very excited about this, and I want to talk about that for a second. I'm not so sure that the Southwest France area, or all this we're talking about, Provence, Languedoc, Roussillon, Rhone, Côte d'Aventure, all these areas, Mataran, Cahors, I just think I'm in a zone right now on those wines. Not necessarily, people don't get crazy. I mean, this doesn't mean they're the best wines in the world. I mean, I've gotten several emails in the last week. Gary, do you think these are the best wines in the world? I think they're the best wines in the world to me right this minute. Your palate evolves. I mean, there was a time when I drank Pinot Noir from Oregon like it was my life, like everything depended on it. I've gone down. Look at the over-oaked wines that I adored 6 or 7 years ago, then went down. I'm actually starting to embrace the oak monster lately. I've had a couple oak bombs lately that I really enjoyed. So your palate will continuously evolve, and if nothing else, if this snippet on WLTV is the sum up for all the shows that you have ever watched, embrace the fact that what you don't like now, you are going to like if you continue to drink wine. And what you love now, it's the greatest. You can't live without it. You may find yourself very quickly selling them off on WineBid, like many people I know have done with Australian Shirazes from the late 90s, 98 Australian Shirazes all over the place. And Zins a couple years ago. People were dumping Turley like there was some real serious ugliness inside. So it comes and it goes, and I just wanted to mention that. Got a little excited there, Mott. Let's go back to the Barroux. Barroux is really, really interesting in color. I kind of like it. It's a little cloudy-esque, which is kind of neat. Let's give it a little bit of a sniffy sniff. This is interesting. So this has a muskiness to it, lots of cherry, lots. I mean, really battered cherry, almost like taking raw hamburger meat, taking a lot of cherry, smashing them together, throwing a little bit of pepper on them. Very interesting. I get a very raw hamburger meat component coming through. And then this like powerful liqueur component towards the end, almost like somebody dipped like 3 to 5% port in here as well. So think about a port finish, you get that little hint of caramel, butterscotch, liquor, it's fortified. Almost has a fortified type nose on the tail end. Very kirsch on its component. Very interesting nose. But I'm staying hesitant. Let's give it a whirl. One of the most massively rich, explosive fruit cherry pie with hints of bacon and secondary flavors of, God, it almost feels like fat, almost like liver fat, bacon, big cherry explosion, hints of white and black pepper, almost like a herb-based component, maybe oregano or basil on the mid, no, not basil, a little oregano kind of action on the mid palate. As smooth and complex as a fruit bomb as I've come across in a long time. Reminds me of an imaginary blend of Chateau Beaucastel Chateauneuf de Pape put together with a very rich and elegant Colgin Cabernet. This is a hedonistic, old world, structured, balanced fruit bomb, old school, lovely, massive wine. Hold on, 1 second. Let me just, before I get too excited, I just want to break it down for one more second. On the tail end, there's a little, like, Frangelica or Bailey's Irish Cream, like, you know, like a cordial kind of component, where I think the alcohol is just a tad high. But I'm telling you right now that that is the only thing keeping me away from scoring this wine through the goddarn roof. I'm feeling this wine This is the wine that I think a lot of the people that have been watching Wine Library TV for a long time need to try, because this brings everything together. To me, this is the perfect harmony of old school, new school. Perfect. I mean, right, like the duet between Paul McCartney and Jay-Z that I'm really looking for in the music world, that's what this is. Does that make sense? Do you get that? I think you do. And that really makes me love this wine. If it wasn't for the hint of alcohol, which I'm not even worried about, I'm sure that will go away over time, 15%. If you could imagine how this is holding the 15%, you'd be blown away. A hedonistic fruit bomb. I love this wine. Let me rewind. I'm not going to say hedonistic fruit bomb. It's going to give you the wrong intention. This really tastes like one of the best Chateauneuf Pops I've ever had, with a little California vanilla love. You know, it's good. It's good. Crap, it's real good. I'm going to score this wine 95 points. I'm feeling it. I've got to put my out there. You know, I don't want to stay conservative. This is a monstrous effort. This is a wine that I just can't see people not loving. This is the kind of wine that people have to start drinking. This is the kind of wine that if I was Robert Parker, Wine Spectator, and scored at 95 points, that people would go out and it would establish it as a brand for life, because they have the street cred to be able to say that. And people aren't that, oh, whatever, would try it, would drink it, and would be blown away. This is a real serious producer in the making, and a wine that I desperately think that people need to seek out. Please try it out. What a wonderful effort. Just still tasting hints. You know, the fact that I'm still tasting sour cherry, and now it's getting a secondary, almost floral component, almost like lavender dancing around, and still tasting. I mean, how long have I been yapping now? 2-3 minutes? I mean, this is a telltale sign to a wine that can... I'm just going to drink a little more. Feeling it. Chad Gatesman says on Ask Gary app on Facebook, "Hi Gary, I've got a pretty good collection of Central Otago Pinot Noirs going. As you know, they're pretty much all screw tops down here. I don't mind it at all, and I like the benefits of it. However, I'm planning on aging these wines for several years, and I've read a lot of mixed theories on aging wine in screw tops. I know you like screw tops, but I was wondering specifically what your take is on aging wines in screw tops." Chad, great question. A lot of people have been asking me this. That's why I decided to grab your question and do it on the Thunder Show. I honestly believe that screw tops will be fine in aging. I really do. I understand the romance with the cork and all that, but I honestly feel that the screw top will keep the wine in place. I like the fact that you don't have to, you know, lay them down. It's going to change the world if it's true, because, again, we lay them down to keep the cork wet, so, you know, so it doesn't dry up and air gets in. Screw top doesn't have that issue. Could really change the way cellars are around the world. That'll be neat to see. I can't really definitely tell you yes or no. I really can't. But what I will tell you is this. I think what you need to do is find a great wine that you love, let's say about $12 to $15 that will age. There are some screw top wines being thrown around in that kind of level right now. And buy a case and really watch it evolve and test for yourself, because you can really drink one bottle every year over the next 10 years and see what's going on. Of course, that won't help you if you find out that you hate it and all your Pinot Noirs get screwed up, but I just don't see it. I don't see the rationale to why screw top will not be able to age just as well, if not better, because it's guaranteeing you a seal, than a cork. I don't know, I just don't see it. I'm pro for it. I put away some of the old plump jacks that came in screw top, so I'm down for the screw tops being able to age. Enough with the preconceived notions in the wine industry about pink wine, screw tops, and all that. You know how I feel, and I don't feel that just because I want to be rogue or renegade. I just think it makes sense. Could be wrong, maybe there's something in the screw top, but maybe a scientist in the Vayniac world can leave a comment and let us know what they think, but I just don't see any rationale or reasoning to that being a problem. This is a $500 bottle of wine from Italy, from one of the great cult classics of all time. This is 1990 Massetto, and the people at Mountain Legend Steaks have really decided to hook me up. They've decided to hook me up, but in turn I want to hook you guys up, and just a great idea from these people. They make some great steak, honestly, but when they wanted to pull out lurkers, they came through hard. We came up with an idea, a little theme that we're going to be running a couple times with Mountain Legend. Great people. Mott, link them up. Please support people that are supporting you. If you're into steaks, I've been seeing great reviews. I would have never put them on if I was worried. But what they've done for us is amazing. They bought this wine, this Massetto 1990, and they're going to give it away to you. That's what they're doing, Vayniacs. And this is a great way to pull out lurkers. Lurkers are going to come out for this $500 thing. Tomorrow, you're going to see a sneak preview of how we're going to do it on Wednesday for the widget contest. Tomorrow, we are going to pull a name out from every single person that leaves a comment. So you're going to leave a comment to their question of the day. Today, and then we're going to cut up all the answers, put it in a bucket tomorrow, and I'm going to pull one out, and you will get a $500 bottle of wine. Come on. It's insanity. Their question, our question, the question of the day today is, what is the greatest meal you've ever had? If there was no better time to leave a comment and come out of Lurkdom, it is right now, because you get a $500 bottle of Super Tuscan from the great 1990 vintage. Amazing job from the people of Montana Legend. Really darn cool. Nice catalog, too. We need to step up and do something cool like this.